currently late morning, and just wanted to do a quick video and kind of find myself in a sort of YouTube rabbit hole. This morning, and I thought I'd just quickly talk about it. The video came up about the 7 signs of dementia, and it's something that I've always sensed in myself of having something sort of serious happening with my mental health, especially with my memory and cognitive function. So I was kind of watching it with a bit more perspective, not just sort of believing that this is what I have, or it's a sense I'm heading towards into that direction of more severity, but it was interesting to watch, and also the things to prevent it as well, because even though the doctor I spoke to earlier mentioned about, when I mentioned about my cognitive function and confusion and things like that, me sit up, actually. I thought I'd lie down. Seemed relaxing, but holding the phone is not as relaxing in that posture. I'm wondering if sometimes it's freer to record without my having to plug in my microphone and things like that. I'm wondering if it makes any difference to the sound if I record with the microphone or without it. Maybe it's okay if it does, and there's an obsessive part of me of wanting all the videos to sound exactly the same sort of sound quality, but maybe it's okay if it doesn't. I may listen back to see if it does when I upload this, but just going back to watching that, and then that led to one of the kind of early preventions for, you can say dementia, but also just maybe cognitive function, is going on like a keto diet. And I know that's another huge subject of stuff. And I started watching one of the videos of a keto diet, and it linked to intermittent fasting, which is something I've been doing. So it can quickly get overwhelming with just the information and things like that. And I found myself, when you watch one video, you kind of going to the next and the next, and it's quite late morning now, and I've decided I was going to trim my hair and shave, but I feel less motivated or able to do that now, and even shower. Perhaps I just washed my face and brushed my teeth, and I don't think I'll shower now. I feel like I'm kind of stuttering to a start, and I've kind of lost the momentum to do that. Trying to think of what else I wanted to talk about in regards to these videos, but perhaps some of the information was useful. It was hard for me to process and remember, but one thing that it kind of affirmed in me is the intermittent fasting, which I've been doing often sort of fasting into the day and eat, my first meal being sort of lunchtime. And I just kind of reaffirmed some of the benefits of that, especially with me and my weight and kind of level of belly fat and things and the health stuff behind that. So in this sort of dementia video, it talked about having a healthy a healthy gut, and part of that, and intermittent fasting can really help with that. And I suffer with like IBS as well, so that's and I think I've noticed with the fasting it's helped with digestion. So maybe that's something I can try and sort of keep up as a regular thing. Yeah, perhaps I've realised why I use my tripod often. It's because I can get tiring holding the phone for a long period. Yeah, so just a quick check-in for this morning. So it feels like a bit of a difficult start to the day, in terms of routine especially. So now perhaps after this I will get changed and undraw the curtains. I'm sure that would help, just bring in some daylight, and then try and just evaluate the rest of my day. I think so I need to think about sort of meals, lunch and dinner. The cooking I did a few days ago, I've kind of finished that food. So I was kind of eating that as dinner the last couple of nights. Yeah, so I need to just decide what to do for food. Also just sort of healthy activities for today. Perhaps it'll be good for me to get out for a walk, and maybe I can upload this. Okay, maybe go for a walk around the park. Maybe that's enough for me to do. I've been doing a lot of walking in the last several days, so maybe it's okay to have a bit more of an easy day walking wise, perhaps. I did. Was watching a show called Homeland yesterday and writing some notes, and I was looking to perhaps make some videos on the first season, and on the other channel, and upload some videos there. But I found myself feeling a bit stressed while doing it, and there's also a feeling of, I don't know, maybe an after effect of putting myself out there, because this feels a little bit different, because I feel almost comforted making these videos, or there's like a level of understanding of my health, and it's kind of a raw thing. And making those kind of movie reviews, it's a more of a content thing. It's less of I kind of want to do it in a raw way where it's not in some ways entertaining. It's not me trying to, it's just another outlet like this. But I'm just finding I haven't got into my flow and settled, and so I'm kind of a bit self-conscious still of doing that, and wondering if I want to still do it. And so there's also that balance of stress, but also trying to do something to stimulate the mind and keep myself busy. So it's a really difficult thing there. So as I was writing the notes yesterday, watching an episode, there was just the stress of doing it. It's like, am I going to memorize, the episodes, and my notes are enough? And I kind of had a thought that I could, when I record reviews, I can kind of, as a consistent thing, have a recap text up on my laptop, so I can kind of refer to that and then add my thoughts to that. So there's no pressure to memorize everything that happened in a show or episode or movie, and not have to just, it takes the pressure off relying on my notes as well. I don't have to jot down every little thing. I can kind of just have that as an additional thing to the general recap that I can sort of refer from. So it just takes the pressure off my memory. But yeah, I still just don't know where I stand with that, and it can seem like a small thing, generally speaking, but for me, just with the levels of sensitivity, there's almost when it's a slight discomfort, it can magnify to a lot. I'm thinking like, oh, should I just not create this content anymore? And kind of go to these sort of black and white decisions, or trying to resolve that versus thinking, okay, let's just take it a step at a time. It doesn't seem like I have that patience or that ability to just kind of take a uncomfortable situation and just sit with it for a bit and make little tweaks and little things. It feels like if there's any slight discomfort, then there's a temptation just to throw it all out. It feels like that's part of my situation. So I think right now it'd be good just to get myself changed, bring in some light, and maybe make a cup of coffee, and then maybe just it feels like there can never be enough sort of self-compassion to just acknowledge my feelings for today, acknowledge the late starts of the morning and what I'm able to do. So it feels like I don't do that enough, just to acknowledge and just sit with how I'm feeling. There's always an element of, okay, how can I try and make the most of the day, or what healthy things can I do? And it feels like I'm always looking out there a little bit, where sometimes I can just maybe slow things down and think, okay, let's just take 5 minutes just to sit with how I'm feeling and see what I'm able to do today. So I feel like that will make a difference to do that. I've arranged to see a friend on in a couple of days' time. So to do some writing, so that'll be a kind of a nice thing to do, to also see somebody and have some sort of human interaction. And naturally, of course, there's the usual challenges of social interaction, but I think as it's kind of centered around doing some writing or activity, it takes the pressure off of conversation, I think. So that'll be good for me. And it's kind of just going through the motions, really, because again, still part of me just wants to isolate myself from people and such. So I felt like it was a positive step to try and arrange to see someone. It's pushing myself and pushing against the feeling of not wanting to see anyone. So my head feels quite cloudy still. I managed to get to bed at before 10:30 last night, so that's something to acknowledge. But I did wake up very early again. I think I wake up at 5 something, feeling really groggy and tired, and then usually I never really get back to sleep probably. So so maybe again I'll try and hopefully with a bit more consistency it will help improve my sleep, which is one of the things in that dementia video talked about, how lack of sleep can really affect, can almost bring on sort of dementia-like symptoms. The doctor that was presenting the video was saying that you can almost feel that way with just like really bad sleep, especially with other things going on. So I kind of felt like that's what's going on with me. Try and have a good sleep tonight. One thing I've been doing is watching a lot of, I didn't do it yesterday, but last days before, I've been watching a lot of videos that's commentating on some politics and current issues, and I find that's, you can have a really triggering after effect as almost a toll taken of absorbing all of that stuff, news stuff really. So it's nice in a way. I've been watching Russell Brand's YouTube videos, so sometimes it's nice because in a way, because I think I was getting some mental stimulation from what was being discussed and the subject matters as well. But then it just all becomes too much for me to kind of to bring in anything else into my world at the moment, like all the challenging things that are happening in the world. So it's that balance really that I find it's really tricky for me to do, where it's the balance between activity, finding activity that wants me to keep going each day, gets me through the day, and there's some sort of stimulation, some sort of purpose, but then quickly there's a stress threshold that I reach and it takes a toll on me. So it feels like that's a challenge and something to be aware of. But maybe I'll make another little check-in at the end of today. I'll see how I feel. It's maybe just kind of using this as a tool and as a help. So if I feel up to it, maybe I'll do that. And first things first, just to get myself dressed. That'll be a good start.